From the towering cranes of Belfast to the ancient docks of Mumbai, these colossal shipyards launched the world's greatest vessels, but they also buried their darkest secrets. You're about to hear the chilling histories and terrifying true encounters from the world's 10 most haunted shipyards. Welcome to the ghosts of the industrial sea. 10. Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders. Mumbai, India. We begin our dark journey in the bustling heart of Mumbai, India, at the historic Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders. Its history stretches back to 1774, initially a small dry dock serving the British East India Company. It evolved from a colonial-era repair hub into independent India's premier warship and submarine construction facility after nationalization in 1960. It's a place of immense maritime pride, having launched powerful destroyers and stealth submarines, a testament to modern engineering. However, beneath the clamor of construction, Mazagon is rumored to hold a haunting secret. While specific named ghost encounters linked directly to the dockyard are scarce in public records, the area itself is steeped in the history of tragic industrial-era accidents, a common catalyst for dockyard hauntings globally. The docks and surrounding old Mazagon district are places where the past layers heavily over the present. The sheer intensity of labor, the danger, and the long, storied history of the land, which was once a low-lying island integrated into the modern city, provide the perfect foundation for a paranormal presence. The dock is a graveyard of old ships and older histories, and it is said that the lingering echoes of those who may have lost their lives in construction or repair accidents are never truly silenced. The atmosphere of an old, massive industrial site, constantly churning out vessels, offers a chilling stage for untold phantom stories in the quiet, shadowed corners after dark. 9. Toulon Naval Dockyard, Toulon, France. Next we sail to the Mediterranean coast of France, to the Toulon Naval Dockyard. Established in the 17th century by Louis XIV, it became the principal base for the French Mediterranean fleet. Before its haunting reputation, it was a site of strategic military importance, an arsenal, and famously, a place of forced labor for centuries, with thousands of galley slaves and convicts, known as forçats, toiling in dreadful conditions. Its history is stained with the suffering of the imprisoned. The dockyard's transformation into a haunted site is intrinsically linked to this dark past. The real haunted incidents here are attributed to the tormented spirits of the forçats who died from disease, exhaustion, or brutality. Visitors and workers have reported hearing the chilling, rhythmic clanking of invisible chains and the faint, mournful cries emanating from the old granite walls in the former prison buildings. These aren't just residual sounds, these are believed to be the active specters of men who never found peace, trapped forever in the endless labor they were condemned to perform even in death, a perpetual, invisible chain gang at the heart of the French Navy's power. 8. Barrow-in-Furness Shipyard, Cumbria, England. Journeying to the northwest of England, we arrive at the vast industrial expanse of the Barrow-in-Furness Shipyard, now known as BAE Systems. Founded in the late 19th century, its pre-haunted history is one of immense, rapid growth, specializing in the construction of groundbreaking naval vessels, most notably, submarines. It was a powerhouse of the industrial age, building everything from luxury liners to battleships, employing tens of thousands of people and becoming the lifeblood of the town. The haunting history is rooted in its dangerous industrial scale, the sheer volume of hazardous work over a century guaranteed tragedy. The most famous real encounter centers on the spirit of the dry dock. Workers on the night shift, especially in the older sections of the yard and around the massive dock gates, have reported seeing a shadowy, solitary figure in old-style overalls. An apparition believed to be one of the countless workers who perished in an industrial accident. He is often seen standing silently, observing the current work, before vanishing. The immense echoing sheds of the shipyard, after hours, are perfect acoustic mirrors for phantom footsteps and the ghostly metallic sounds of tools being dropped, a subtle, unnerving chorus to the quiet tragedy of the dock's dangerous legacy. 7. Karlskrona Naval Dockyard, Karlskrona, Sweden. Our 7th stop is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Sweden, the Karlskrona Naval Dockyard. Established in 1680 by King Charles the Brandens, its history before the hauntings is one of strategic naval perfection, designed to be Sweden's main naval base and shipyard. It contains some of the world's oldest preserved industrial buildings, including the incredible rope walk, which is over 300 meters long, and the dry docks carved directly into the rock. It's a symbol of naval power and architectural longevity. The enduring ghost stories here revolve around the oldest structures, places where centuries of human life and death have accumulated. The most persistent apparition is linked to the famous Old Mast Crane, a massive wooden structure used to hoist masts onto sailing ships. The ghost of a former crane worker is said to haunt the mechanism. The real haunted incident reports speak of the crane operating by itself in the dead of night, the creaking of its gears and the scraping of its chains heard clearly when no one is near, a phantom worker completing a task left unfinished perhaps 200 years ago. Furthermore, the dark, cavernous dry docks are whispered to be home to the spirits of old sailors, their cold footsteps echoing on the stone, a constant, chilling reminder of the thousands of lives that pass through this ancient naval city. 6. Cockatoo Island Dockyard, Sydney, Australia. Now we journey to Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, and the infamous Cockatoo Island Dockyard. Its history is one of brutal transformation. Before becoming a dockyard, from 1839 to 1869, it was a maximum security prison and penal establishment, where convicts toiled to carve two massive dry docks out of the sandstone by hand. It later became one of Australia's most important shipbuilding and repair facilities, especially during the World Wars. Its haunting history is inextricably tied to the suffering of the convict era. The island's energy is dark and oppressive. The real haunted encounters are numerous and intense. Visitors report cold spots, sudden shifts in air pressure, and the terrifying sound of phantom screams and wails echoing from the tunnels and prison cells. The most chilling encounter is the Grey Lady, the spirit of a woman, possibly a convict or a wife of a guard, seen near the convict workshops. People have also reported being physically pushed, hearing disembodied growls in the isolation cells, and seeing full-bodied apparitions of convicts dressed in old stripes, their despair having etched itself permanently into the island's hard, unforgiving stone. 5. Belfast Harland and Wolff Shipyard, Belfast, Northern Ireland. Our chilling countdown continues in Belfast, Northern Ireland, at the towering Harland and Wolff Shipyard. Before its dark fame, this yard was an industrial icon, a place of immense pride and engineering genius. Founded in 1861, its history is dominated by the construction of the world's most luxurious and massive liners, culminating in the RMS Titanic and her sister ships. It was a shipyard that defined an era, a symbol of British industrial might. The haunting history of Harland and Wolff is, tragically, tied to the ships it birthed and the many lives lost during their construction. While the Titanic tragedy looms large, the real haunted incidents here often involve the spirits of workers who died in industrial accidents. The sheer scale of the operation meant danger was constant. Workers have reported seeing shadowy figures moving within the famed massive crane gantries, known as Samson and Goliath, long after the workday is done. The most persistent presence is a specter known as the Red Overalls Ghost, believed to be a fitter who fell to his death. He is often seen in the workshops or around the cavernous dry docks. Witnesses describe a feeling of profound melancholy and the chilling residual sounds of tools clanging and unseen footsteps running on the metal walkways, a perpetual silent shift manned by the dead. 4. Norfolk Naval Shipyard, Portsmouth, Virginia, USA. Crossing the Atlantic, we arrive in Portsmouth, Virginia, United States of America, home to the historic Norfolk Naval Shipyard, NNSY. Established in 1767 and originally known as Gosport Shipyard, its history is deeply intertwined with American military conflicts, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War, where it was burned and rebuilt. Before the hauntings, it served as a vital repair and construction facility for America's naval power, constantly evolving with naval technology. The history of violent conflict has left an indelible mark on NNSY. The shipyard has been a target of attack and a hub of intense activity for over 2 centuries. The real haunted incidents are particularly concentrated in the oldest sections, specifically the historic dry docks. The most renowned apparition is the Phantom Watchman, a dark, tall figure reported by security personnel. The most compelling encounters, however, involve residual sounds from the Civil War era, the phantom smell of black powder, the sound of invisible horses galloping, and the disembodied commands of officers echoing near the waterfront. Workers often attribute sudden, inexplicable equipment malfunctions to the grumpy spirits of sailors and laborers whose ships and lives ended abruptly on these docks. 3. Brooklyn Navy Yard, Brooklyn, New York, USA. Our next stop is the bustling metropolis of New York, United States of America, at the sprawling Brooklyn Navy Yard. Operational from 1801 to 1966, its pre-haunted history is one of national defense dominance, a massive complex that built and maintained some of the most famous warships in American history, including the USS Arizona. It was a chaotic, intense, and crucial industrial center, employing over 70,000 people during World War II. The yard's haunting reputation stems from the sheer volume of high-risk work and, chillingly, from its proximity to an old colonial burial ground and the sheer number of workplace fatalities over its 165 years of operation. The most active, haunt, is often reported in the former sick quarters and the sprawling machine shops. Workers and historians have reported cold spots, unexplained electrical fluctuations, and the distinct, unnerving sound of heavy, unseen machinery suddenly engaging in the dead of night. The most terrifying real encounters involve the apparition of a ghostly sailor, often described as soaking wet, who is seen standing near the dry docks or suddenly emerging from the shadow of old hulls, a silent, spectral veteran forever on duty at the docks that built his final vessel. 2. Portsmouth Historic Dockyard, Portsmouth, England. Returning to England, we visit the revered Portsmouth Historic Dockyard. Dating back to the late 15th century, its history is unparalleled, home to legendary ships like Henry VIII's Mary Rose and HMS Victory. Before any specter walked its cobblestones, it was the cradle of the Royal Navy's power, a place where exploration, conquest, and naval tragedy unfolded for half a millennium. The Dockyard is essentially a museum of death, disaster, and immense history, making its hauntings powerful and varied. The haunting history is rich, tied directly to the ships and the ancient structures. The most common real incidents involve sudden, overwhelming feelings of illness or distress in certain areas. On board the HMS Victory, the spirit of a drummer boy who fell to his death is said to still be heard. More chillingly, staff and visitors have reported encounters with the Lady in Blue near the old rope-making facilities, a figure seen fleetingly, always silent, and always radiating an intense cold. The residual echo of centuries of naval life is strong here, with phantom figures of sailors in period dress seen near the docks, their duty apparently never done. 1. Chatham Dockyard, Kent, England. We conclude our haunted tour at the undisputed king of cursed shipyards, Chatham Dockyard in Kent, England. Founded in the mid-16th century, its pre-haunted history spans 414 years of continuous service, building over 500 ships for the Royal Navy. It was a massive, self-contained industrial community, surviving Dutch attacks, war, and revolution, a colossal industrial landscape that defined British naval supremacy for centuries. The haunting history of Chatham is intense and pervasive, covering nearly every ancient building on the site. The sheer volume of death and tragedy from industrial accidents and the Dockyard's infamous bloody jail have saturated the grounds. The real haunted encounters here are legendary. The Rope Walk, one of the longest brick buildings in Europe, is plagued by phantom footsteps and the sounds of disembodied whips, believed to be residual memories of the intense labor and punishment meted out there. The most terrifying and frequent reports come from the victualling yard and the old workshops, where a figure known only as the Tall Man in Black is seen. He is not merely residual, he is an active, malevolent presence causing profound fear, and often pushing or tripping unsuspecting visitors. Chatham is a vast, historic complex where the echoes of industrial suffering and centuries of hard lives are a constant chilling companion to the living. Whether built on naval pride or prisoner despair, these historic shipyards are places where the past never fully leaves. The work is done, but the souls remain. Subscribe for more unsettling journeys into the shadows of history. We'll see you next time, if you dare.